Welcome to the Alabama Power postgame show. I'm Michael Casagrande here with Kevin Scarbinsky. We're here to talk about Alabama's win over Middle Tennessee State, 37-10. Quite a bit to talk about. Let's start with the quarterbacks, because why not talk about the quarterbacks?
Because everybody wants to talk about the quarterbacks. But let's clear up one thing. I saw a ridiculous headline on the AJC that said Jake Coker pulled after the first half. He had pretty good numbers in the first half, and he did throw the one interception, which will, of course, displease both Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban. But he did play the entire first half, and then Cooper Bateman got the entire second half. I think that was probably by design.
Yeah, I would have to imagine that there wasn't a reaction to the play. I mean, that wasn't perfect. It wasn't as good maybe as it was against Wisconsin, but there were some good things in there. And this is the kind of game where they would be programming to do something like that, to have two guys play, bring in Alec Morris late in the game. But for the most part, I mean, both quarterbacks threw an interception, both inadvised passes. The Coker pass was a long, deep ball, just flew into double coverage. Bateman forced one too. What were your thoughts on some of those mistakes?
The most interesting thing we heard, I think, from Nick Saban in the postgame was that they obviously those were mistakes, that they shouldn't have thrown those passes, the interceptions, which is kind of, you and I could have figured that out, right? Even though Nick Saban knows a little more football than us. As he reminded you in the postgame.
You said they did some things offensively that you weren't expecting. What were those, and how do you think you adjusted to it?
Well, I could get into it technically, but you wouldn't understand it. Nobody else would understand it. Just take my word for it.
But he was harping on, they didn't really show an identity on offense in this game,
right.
As he thought they had tried to establish or started to establish against Wisconsin. He had a laundry list of things he wasn't pleased with, and I think that was something he really focused on, the lack of an identity in offense here.
Right. Now, switching over to the defensive side, one of the big things about this game was the fast-paced offense of Middle Tennessee State. They were very fast. Reggie Ragland joked about being winded, I guess, in the first quarter. You can only prepare for that so much, but that's important mostly for what reason, Kevin?
Because they're going to play next week the first team in SEC history that has ever scored 73 points or more in back-to-back games. That would be the Ole Miss Rebels, as if they didn't have enough motivation after what happened last year in Oxford.
Right. No, they moved the ball fast. I mean, they played two teams that were maybe less than SEC caliber. Get their first real challenge next week, but it'll be real interesting to see how Alabama adjusts. They adjusted today after the first quarter giving up a lot of yards and that hurry-up, fast-paced. It didn't allow a touchdown until the very end, and that was off of their own interception. So good with the bad. I mean, they forced 4 turnovers. That was obviously a positive, so they can take that into next week, and I think we can take it to next week with that. Michael Casagrande, Kevin Scarbinsky, this is the Alabama Power postgame show.